So, hi, welcome back. We've done the background and the field. We're going to do some more detail now on the foreground. We're going to put in some of this green and then some of the background red. I'm going to use alizarin crimson, but if you don't have alizarin crimson, you can always use burnt sienna. So first of all, we're just going to get a mix of the sap green, and we're going to put this part in. So we're just going to run some green into the field. It's a light wash. I'm going to put a little bit of blue in there to darken it. Maybe just add some water to thin it out. And if you do an area that you don't particularly like and it's still wet, you can use the kitchen paper to blot some of it off. Now I'm just adding in some water to just fade that out a little bit. So now we're going to use the sponge again, and you want it wet. Squeeze out most of the water so it's just damp. And I'm going to put it into the alizarin crimson, or you can use the burnt sienna, and we're just going to sponge lightly over the foreground. Take it up into the green. It doesn't matter if it bleeds into the green at this point. And rinse your sponge out. And I'm going to dry it with the hairdryer. And we're going to mix up some of these foreground colours. So we'll start off with the lightest ones, which we've done the alizarin crimson. I'm going to do a thicker yellow ochre, and some burnt sienna or light red, and again we're going to use a sponge. So we'll go into the yellow ochre. And this just gives it a bit of texture. I'm not going right up to the horizon line. I'm going 3/4 of the way up. Wash the sponge out. And I'm going to dip it into the burnt sienna or light red. This is still wet, but that's okay. I'm going to dry it at this stage. We're building up layers of colour. So you've got the different colours showing through. You've got the yellow ochre showing through, the green, bits of the crimson, just gives a depth to the painting. And at this stage you can add in some of the green. You can sponge or you can paint in. I'm going to mix in a bit of the Payne's grey with the green just to make it a bit darker. Payne's grey is a sort of bluey grey. I'm not going to go too mad with the green. I'm going to paint in some of these green leaves. Again with a mix of the Payne's grey and the sap green. And I'm using a medium round brush and just flicking the brush up, holding my wrist supported. Make sure you go off the edge of the painting. Try and do some grasses bent over, not all upright. Another neat thing you can do is use the Q-tip, and this makes some of these darker marks like seed heads or plants. So you want to dip it into the darker colour, the darker green, Payne's grey, and you can just dot it onto different areas. Don't go all over, just do small areas. The darker colour, focus more on the immediate foreground. You can even add a little bit of burnt umber to it. Mix in a bit of light red or burnt sienna to vary the colour. It's just adding texture. don't want to go overboard on that. Another neat thing you can do is use a toothbrush, just damp it, and then I'm probably going to mix some burnt umber, which is like this brown, and I'm going to mix it in with the burnt sienna or light red. You want a fairly thick mix. I'm going to use a kitchen roll just to protect the bits of the painting that I don't want to get covered. And you're going to dip or scrub your old toothbrush into the paint and use your thumb and flick the paint onto the painting. It's messy and it goes everywhere, so that's why you want to mask off the top of the painting. I'm just going to do a little bit with the green. Gives texture. If you didn't mask that off, you'd end up with splatters all over your sky. So again, let's dry.